So what do we do usually when a heavy emotion comes up, or we start thinking of a memory or something that's really uncomfortable? Usually when those things come up, we immediately try to distract or numb or take ourselves away from the emotion, right? And that can look different for everybody. Some people turn to different substances or TV or something to numb that. And I'm going to talk today about how that's really not serving us and actually creating a lot of problems for us down the road. And also how we can make these kind of small adjustments that can really save us pain and a lot of time and processing down the line. So we'll talk about all of that today. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, I'd love it if you would subscribe. And if you want notifications, just click the little bell thing and you'll get new notifications when videos come out. So running away from our emotions is so common, right? We all do it. And we're really not taught how to process our emotions and how to work through them and feel them and be able to sit with that uncomfortable feeling. And I have so many people who come to me and say, like, I don't know how to process anything. I don't know how to feel what I'm feeling. I don't know how to get through anything. They really just don't know how to do that at all. And it's because we're not taught and we're not very good at it. And what we usually do is we turn to something to distract us. So we turn to a substance to numb or to take away the pain or to put us in a different state. Or we turn to social media or the TV or distractions, or we turn to other people, and not other people to help us process things, but just to be a distraction. Or, you know, some people kind of almost have relationships and fill that void with, like, they use relationships to fill that void. So they're not actually processing and having healthy relationships, but they just have to have someone there or else they get anxious. They almost use relationships and love as their addiction. So we can turn to a lot of different things, but we're not very good at sitting with the emotion. And that's something that I really work with people a lot on, because if we don't learn to do that, then we just keep creating more problems for us in the future. And there's a lot of research that is backed behind this. There's a lot of kind of meditation principles that are also backing a lot of this. But basically, when we feel something and we run from it, we're reacting, right? That's a reaction. And that actually makes the emotion bigger. It feels better in the moment, but it's like burying it and feeding it over here. So I'm running from you, but I'm gonna put you over there and hide you away. And meanwhile, it's kind of just churning and growing and becoming bigger. So the next time it comes up, we have an even bigger reaction, or it keeps coming up and we keep having to do something to numb it or distract ourselves from it. But it's not going away because we haven't sat with it. We haven't processed it. We haven't looked at the roots of it. We just keep hiding and running away from it, sticking it in the closet, and it's growing. And that's what always happens. Now, this gets really hard when it's trauma, because trauma is a lot more difficult to process and a lot heavier. And the more we numb that as well, in the same way, the kind of bigger it becomes. But it just keeps becoming almost even more scary to touch it. So it's there and it's impacting you, but it's too hard to work through and to talk through. And so we just keep avoiding it and trying to numb from it. But that's not helping. It's not helping anything. It's not serving you in any way. And that doesn't mean that you have to jump into all your trauma and all of your emotions right now, because sometimes you're not ready. Sometimes it's not a good time and you need more time to be able to kind of process it and figure it out and get to a place where you can talk about it and you're safe to talk about it. But we have to kind of change the relationship with our emotions, and we have to process them and sit with them at some point. And the longer we wait, the bigger and harder this can be. So when we have the time and the space and we're ready to practice this, we can start small. So I'll have people notice what emotions come up throughout the day and just work to be a little bit more conscious of that. Okay, so today I felt sad, I felt angry, I felt jealous, I felt whatever you feel, and then try to sit with it instead of running from it. And it's hard to kind of change that at first because we're so not in tune with our emotions, and it takes some practice to be more conscious of them. So sometimes I'll have them check in like at lunch and at night and try to be like, okay, what happened today? What did I feel today? And try to kind of get closer to the time of it happening, because something may have happened in the morning, and if you check in at lunch, you can kind of go back and remember. But if you wait all the way till the next day or night, you may not remember. So it's helpful to have kind of check-ins throughout the day in the evening and look back and say, okay, what did I feel today? What came up for me today? And try to sit with it and try to work through it a bit. If it helps to write it out, writing can be really powerful. Talking to someone can be really powerful. Talking it out just to yourself or even recording it can sometimes be helpful, or drawing out your emotions. But picking something to help you sit with it and process it and be like, okay, I'm not gonna run from this. I'm just gonna acknowledge it and notice it and let it kind of be for this amount of time. And you can set a timer on it. Like, I'm taking a half hour to do my therapy work, and I'm gonna let myself feel my emotions, and then I'm gonna go back to my day. But the more we're able to do that, and the more we can work to do it closer to when the emotion is happening, the more we'll be able to work through that and process it and let it go, so it's not impacting us. It's not building up. It's not turning into bigger trauma. It's not turning into deeper pain and reactions and pain points. It's something that we learn to work through, and we learn to let go, and we learn just to be able to feel and not react. And it's a skill that is priceless. And it's gonna take a lot of time and work. So we start with these small ways of doing it, and then just keep trying and keep working to be really kind to yourself and be patient with it, because it's not an easy process, and these aren't easy emotions. And getting support for this is also super helpful, especially if it's deeper trauma or, you know, some deeper stuff that's really hard to work through, or you're super disconnected from yourself and your emotions. It can be really necessary to try to get some professional help with that, so you don't have to do it alone, and someone can help guide you through it. And if you want help with that from me, feel free to reach out to me through my website or send me an email or comment below, and I'm happy to help or answer any questions that you guys have or anything. All right, have a good day.